Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is the day. It is New Year's Eve and it's very frosty outside. We haven't had any snow here, but it is frosty. I am ready to start the new year and it's time to set up my Hobonichi Cousin for 2021. So I've already got it in my cover. I'm using a Gillio Appunto. This is in the undyed leather, and it's obviously A5 size because it's got the cousin in it. I have done a couple of the little things to set this up. At first what I was going to do is I was going to set the whole thing up and then I was just going to show you my setup, and then I thought actually it might be more fun for me to set some of it up while I'm on camera. So I have already done a few things in my pockets down here. It's basically just like sticky notes, business cards, a nice little planner card that I had, more sticky notes, a little if found card that's just got my contact details on, and then I've just tucked in this bottom pocket this freebie journaling card that I got from Lines Plus Paper. And then this is a Starbucks card that looks like an autumn leaf and I just love it, so I put it in there. I have put these little laminated pieces of Rifle Paper Company paper. I've just tucked them in the back pocket. Actually, I've got another one in the back pocket. I have ordered a pencil board for this planner, but it hasn't arrived yet, so I'm just using this as a temporary pencil board to tide me over. And I have stuck a little ollie clip up in the corner here. So I'm just going to quickly run you through what we're actually going to be setting up today, just so that you know what we're doing with each section. So I've penciled in on the front page that I want to put my name, my email address and the year. On the back I have tucked in this little sheet. This is basically all of the lists that I want to create in my cousin. So I in my A6 I was using the monthly page, like the monthly start page, to create like collection lists. I'm not going to be doing that in this planner because I want that area to be where my habit trackers are going. So I need to designate certain pages for these lists. The front page I've not done anything with. I have stuck my little post-it washi laminated sticky tabs here just as somewhere to keep them, and then I've got others dotted in the planner. This is the bit that I have already done. I just wrote the month on each of the months and then I marked out pay dates. I plan to use this to mark paydays and annual leave, so I'll do annual leave in yellow, like I'm doing up here. And I did mark out last year because I do sometimes like to refer to when I took leave and things the previous year, so I have marked out the previous year as well. Then we come to the yearly spread. I'm going to use this as an index. I debated for quite a while about how I was going to use this. I really wasn't sure until I sat down last night and actually figured out how I'm going to incorporate certain things in this planner. I was going to use this as my habit tracker because it is perfectly set up to be a habit tracker, but I just think that it will work better for me as an index. I'm still not completely sure about it though. I'm thinking, oh God, am I going to regret this? But no, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to basically use it as a calendex. I have already like crinkled a page. Ugh. And then the monthly, I haven't filled out December yet. But basically what I am going to be doing is using the monthly for important events and appointments that I might want to look back to. So although I'm using the sort of like the yearly spread as an index, I'm meaning this more for important things that I might make a note of on my daily page, or things that I might journal about on my daily page. Actual events are going to be either in my weekly or reference to important ones will be on here. And then I'm also going to pick a favourite thing from each day, like I have done with my A6. I used the monthly in that to pick a favourite moment from each day, and it just helped me remember to be grateful for what I've got. So I'm going to use that spread for that too. So you can see I have started adding in birthdays. They're the only events that I've added in so far though. I just wanted to make a note of those. Then we come to the weekly, and the weekly is basically going to be my memory plan. So this planner isn't an actual active future planning planner rather. It's more of a way for me to record what I did every day. The future planning will come in those monthly spreads. So for me, this is just going to be a memory plan of my week, what I did each day with stickers, making it look pretty, and just having fun with it basically. Then we come to, there's this spread before the actual year starts, and it's called Turning a Page to a New Year. And this one, I really wanted to make kind of like a motivational spread basically. I am going to take on the challenge of doing 21 goals for 2021 this year. If I listen to the podcast Happier with Gretchen Rubin, and she does this every year. I started listening because I read her book The Happiness Project, which was a really great read. I read that this year, and I want to take on 21 goals for 2021, and I have decided what those are. Again, there was a lot of deliberating over these, but I'm really happy with how I've got them set out now. And then I've also picked my word for the year, and this one, do you know, I wasn't even sure that I was going to do a word of the year, but it just came to me in like a stroke of inspiration, and it just fit perfectly with what I want my my mindset to be this year. And the word I've chosen is determination, basically because I want to, I'm quite a stubborn kind of person. I'm a true Taurus. I am really stubborn, but I don't apply that stubbornness in the right ways often. So I want to this year apply that stubbornness to being determined to achieve the goals that I want to achieve. So determination is my word. And on this page, I want to write down basically how I'm going to make those 21 in 2021 goals happen. So I haven't quite decided yet whether I'm going to split it up quarterly, what I'm going to try and do each quarter, or if I'm going to like make a note of, oh, this is sort of how I want to achieve XYZ, or you know, the skills that I'm going to use basically to keep this up. But that's basically what this page is going to be. Then the next page is the first monthly. So and basically this is the page that I was talking about earlier, that in the A6 I was using this for collections, but I've got more than 12 collections. I need to use this page for tracking my habits as well. So my habits this year aren't just going to be like the habits that I've been doing ordinarily. I'm also going to factor in here habits that I need to sort of the habits that I need to build to help me achieve those goals for my 21 in 2021. So it's not just going to be the habits that I have been doing in the past little while. It's also going to be recording things that don't necessarily need to be done daily, but I want to record that I'm doing it weekly, or that I'm getting it done in a month, sort of thing. So yeah, that's going to be on there. And then I also kind of want to do like a little currently section, but there is in the back of the Hobonichi, there is which page is it? This page, which is kind of like your favorites page. So I am sort of thinking maybe I will put the currently in here because there are 12, so there is one for each month. So I might put that in that bit. I haven't decided yet. But for now, I'm aiming to put my habits and goal tracking in this page. And then it comes to the journaling pages. And so each daily page is going to be a journal for me. I am going to use part of the page to form those collection pages, those lists that I want, and any important information that I've learned, maybe something that I've researched, something that I'm looking into. I'm going to create those, I'm going to put those on this page. And that's kind of, it's inspired by Lindsey. I just love that she has her collections, as she calls them, on her page, and then she also journals on the other side. I'm going to stick much more rigorously to, I do want to journal on the day of in this page, so I don't want my collection to take up a huge amount of room, so I'm not going to put sort of like trackers, like habit trackers and things on this space. I need that to be somewhere else, so that's why I'm going to be using this page. So I want to use the dividing line down here, use this space on this side to be my, like, these lists, and then I want to use the rest of the page to be my journaling space every day. And I won't limit myself to this space. I do also maintain having a freeform journal, which I want to pick up the habit again of doing morning pages in 2021, and I'm going to be doing morning pages in there. So if I want to write a bit more, I will happily move myself over to that notebook if it's getting a bit full, or even maybe just tip in a bit of paper so that I can write a little bit more. So that's kind of the setup we're going for. Oh, and then at the back of the Cousin, there are these grid pages. There are only 6 of them. So I'm basically taking the trackers that I think I am going to need more space for, and I'm going to put them on these grid pages at the back. But I'm not feeling as desperate to do that straight away, because I do have a way of tracking those things in my ring planner, so it is just a case of copying them over. Right, so let's get started. Let's make this pretty. Okay guys, so let's get to getting this planner all set up. So I'm starting off just with the cover page. I'm using the Tombow Fudenosuke pen there. I think I was using the soft tip. You can get it in soft and hard tip. I think that was the soft. I tend to use the soft when I'm doing larger lettering. And I'm just now going in, and I decided that I wanted to bring sort of like a botanical journal element to this. So I'm using a Tombow, hang on, it's number 992, to create almost like a craft paper tape strip. That's kind of how I was thinking of it in my head anyway. And I'm going to add another element in a second. I basically, in my long form journal, I have leaves on the front page, but I've just done them in black. But I decided that I wanted to do leaves on the front page of this Hobonichi using another Tombow pen, which I'm afraid the number has rubbed off. I think it's 192. But I can't be positive about that. I will try and find out. So I'm just adding these decorative leaves, and the idea is sort of so that the tape kind of looks like it's sticking them down. It's kind of how I was thinking of it anyway. I wanted the leaves to be going behind the brown that I'm thinking of as craft tape, and then the writing over the top. And I've also lettered in my name there. I used the hard tip Fudenosuke pen for that one. When I'm doing smaller lettering, I prefer to use the hard tip. So this is the yearly overview, and I'm just pointing out that I've used stickers from my shop to mark my paydays, and I'm using a yellow Tombow to mark off annual leave. And then the index page, I'm not going to do anything with today, but I am going to be using it as an index. So we're on to the monthlies. The monthlies are going to be kind of an actual planning space for me, marking appointments. So I wanted to decorate December so that it was in keeping. I'm using a Rifle Paper Company tape. This is from the Tapestry collection, I believe. It is a little bit hard to tear because it's that thicker washi tape, but I really like it. It's really pretty. And then I'm just going to mark in birthdays in the little space next to the date on the box. And then I'm using a zebra mild liner brush. I think this one is smoke blue. And I'm just using that to mark some annual leave. Now I'm just pulling in some stickers. These are the larger transparent dot stickers from my shop, and then I'm just putting a little cash transparent like minimal sticker from my shop on top to mark payday, and then some annual leave stickers. Then for January, I'd already filled in my January birthdays, so I'm just gonna add in appointments and things. This is again washi tape from that Rifle Paper Company set. I am a bit of a Rifle Paper Company fan. I am now just grabbing some stickers. These ones are a mix, I believe, of ones from Caffeine and Paper Co. and I can't remember if I used any from my shop in here. But I like the little asterisks for work events, the little cat for birth things, the little speech bubble for things that aren't work events but which are like a timed meeting or something like that. Then weeklies, I'm not going to plan my weekly in this video, but just to show you, I'm planning to memory plan in there. And then now we're on to sort of the meat and, of this setup really. And this is sort of a random page that's in between the weeklies and the daily pages, and I didn't want to leave it blank. I wanted to give it a purpose, so I'm using it here as a like goal page, a place for me to put out my intentions for the year. So I'm going with 21 goals. I listened to Gretchen Rubin's podcast Happier, and she does, like in 2020 she did 20 goals, and I really like that idea, so I'm going to go with 21 for 2021. I've again gone for that like botanical little bit of interest there, and then again using those Tombow sign pens just to script in 21 goals for 2021. I'm going to pull in, I'm just tidying up my lettering. I'm not brilliant at lettering, especially with like sign pens. I'm better at monoline lettering, so I've just put in the numbers there with that brown Tombow that I've been using, and now I'm just writing in my 21 goals for 2021. A lot of them are based on reading and things, reading 50 books, reading 12 non-fiction books, reading for 21 minutes per day, like as a minimum. That's quite a small amount for me. And also I'm trying to bring in some journaling, so I want to journal every day. I'm basically trying to make these goals be something that helps me with my mental health, and making sure that I'm building in some self-care. I have a tendency to be a workaholic. I'm not very good at not working unless it's reading. I can read, but anything else I like to work all the time, so I'm trying to make sure that I give myself breaks from that. So yeah, I've got acts of self-care like having a relaxing lush bath or painting my nails. I've got working out, walking outside, which, spoiler alert, I haven't actually done yet this year. I'm doing this voiceover on the 23rd of January. And losing some more weight. I lost quite a lot of weight in 2020. I want to lose some more in 2021. Prioritizing my health over possessions. I am an impulsive spender, and I want to remember that, you know, that has an impact on my health. Speak to or visit family every week, have a date night every month, pay off debt, engage with my budget. I'm using YNAB as my budgeting system, and I want to actually make sure that I'm checking that every day. Building some business capital, stick to my low buy 90% of the time, take monthly social media breaks, again trying to have a bit of a break, but I do want to post on YouTube 2 times a month, so that's going to take time. Then just some things around the house. I want to declutter every season, keep my plants alive, and bake to gift to other people. So I'm just starting on the right hand page now, and over here this is where I've put my word of the year, and I wasn't sure I was going to have a word of the year, but I'm happy with the one I've chosen, determination. I'm feeling determined about trying to achieve some of these goals, and I'm seeing goal setting this year as being more of a progress, not perfection type thing. Like I was saying, I haven't gone on any walks yet this year. It's been too cold and miserable, and I'm asthmatic, so it's not a good idea for me. So, you know, I've been working out in different ways, and that's fine. Later on in the year is when I will probably get more of that walking outside. So I'm just going to letter in that word, determination. Again, as I said, my lettering isn't perfect. I think I'm using the soft tip here, and I probably would have been better with the hard tip, even though I'm writing larger. I do find the softer tip much harder to control. So if you're just starting out, definitely I recommend the hard tip rather than the soft tip out of the Fujinosuke pens. So now we are into monthlies, which this is, I'm hoping, the layout that I'm going to stick with every month and use. So far this month I've been really enjoying having it there and having it at the beginning of the month. It is something that I refer back to every day to fill out. Basically at the end of the day I journal in my cousin, and then I fill out my habit tracker, and yeah, I just really like having it there to refer to. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just putting in like the grid lines, the axis lines for my habit tracker. I decided not to draw in all of the grid on this, but although the Hobonichi uses grid paper, this page at the beginning of the month is actually plain paper. There are no lines on it. There is grid on the other side of the page, which does ghost through a little bit, but I wouldn't say it was bold enough for me to easily be able to see where each box was. So I actually went with a different method that you'll see in a second. So the habits that I'm tracking are generally linked to those goals. There are a couple that aren't, but a lot of them are linked to those goals. And that is whether I stuck to my low buy, whether I checked my budget, whether I walked, exercised, if I stayed on plan, that's my diet plan, whether I stayed hydrated, whether I did my AM and PM skincare routine, whether I tidied up, like a quick tidy at the end of the day, if I did that act of self-care, if I memory planned, if I 5-year journaled, if I journaled, and if I did some reading. So you can see there that I marked everything. I marked each box with a dot, which has been really easy for me. At the end of the day, I just cross the dot for when I've checked it off. So the other aspect of this page that I wanted was for it to be a way for me to record the things that I've done to work towards my goals. So these little headings are each related to one of my 21 and 2021 goals. So I've got weight down at the bottom there, and I'm recording, I weigh in once a week, so I'm just recording what that weight is. Then I'm popping read, self-care, YouTube, where I'm going to write the videos that I've uploaded that month, bakes, so the things that I've baked, the amount of debt that I've paid, and the amount of capital that I've built for my business. And then I do actually go in and add another line in a second, and that one is for date night, so it's whatever we do for our date night in the month. And I'm really enjoying just having this way of tracking my whole goal progress for the month. So yeah, I'm really chuffed with that. So this the rest of the video, I don't know if you can tell, you might be able to tell, is actually a different day. I ran out of time, daylight, on the previous day, so the rest of this setup is being done a couple of days later. And we're now going to go into the sort of collections, I suppose you would call them. I know that's what Lindsey from Lindsey Scribbles calls them, and it's basically like lists that I want to keep a record of for the future. So I'm setting up these lists on my daily pages. I suppose it's like reference material, things I want to refer back to, information that I've come across, important notes that I've made about the day. My plan is for them all to be on that left hand side of the daily pages. So I'm starting off with my book list. I know I'm not going to fit 50 books on this one list, so I'm sure there will be a books part 2 at some point during the year. And I'm just going to write in the first book that I read, which was You Need a Budget, which is the book that goes along with the budgeting system that I'm using. So I have quite a few of these that I'm doing. The next page I'm doing shows. So this is television shows, series, and so on, that I've enjoyed watching. And then on the right hand side there, films. I find that I forget what shows and films I've watched and enjoyed really quickly. I don't know if it's just to do with how I watch things, because I never just sit and watch a television or a film. I generally am doing something else at the same time. I'm too much of a fidget to be able to just sit and watch. So I forget, like, within a couple of weeks what I've been watching. In fact, sometimes even within days I forget what I've been watching. So to me it's helpful to have a list of what I've been watching, especially when it comes to, like, you know, recommending things to other people. So yeah, I've been keeping a little list of what I've been watching. The first film that went on this list, by the way, is Onward, which I really enjoyed. I cried a lot, but I really enjoyed it. It was a great film, and I watched that on Disney Plus. And of course, it had Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, and they're brilliant anyway. So then we're on to the next page, and this one is my wish lists. So I split my wish lists into 2 sections. I split it into £20 or less and over £20. And I know I could have split this even further, because the over £20 contains anything from a wake-up light to a Vitamix, which vary hugely in cost. But I wanted to basically have 2 lists, so that I've got my wish list that is £20 or less, is sort of the items that I'm thinking I could quite easily treat myself to something from that list if I wanted to. That's something that I don't particularly have to save too much towards. They're just little things that I might think, oh yes, I'm just gonna get myself that. You know, if I've had a particularly good sales day with the shop or something, that could be something that I would treat myself with. When I'm, because I'm on this budgeting journey where I'm trying to pay off debt and things, they're things that won't break the bank, that won't hurt my finances too much if I do decide that I need something, just a little something to treat myself to. Whereas the over £20, these are things that I am going to have to actually save for. So make an effort to make a little space in my budget where I can save for these things, a little bit at a time. So most of these things are actually already in my wish list, in my budget, and will then, when the time comes, each one will then get moved into my wish farm, so that I can water my little wishes, and hopefully eventually get enough to invest in that Vitamix, because I just love a good smoothie. So, and a nut butter. Definitely, I've wanted a Vitamix for years now, and I've never managed to save it up. I've never managed to save up enough money, or when I have saved that much money, I have never quite felt like pulling the trigger on it. So I always feel like the Vitamix is on there, and I don't know if I ever will actually purchase one. So, onto the next page. This one, we've got my gift list. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's just where I pop things if I think of something for someone's gift. I'm terrible at remembering things that I've thought of to give to people. Yeah, I'm just rubbish, and I'm really bad at, like, if people mention, oh yeah, I'd really like this, if I don't write it down, I don't remember that they've said that they want that. I just don't remember. I mean, I struggle to remember birthdays, for Christ's sake. So a gift list is essential for me. I have them in every planner. I even have one in my phone, so that if I don't have a planner with me, I can still make a note that that person would quite like that thing. On the right hand side there, we've got my non-fiction list. This is tied to my goal of trying to read 12 non-fiction books. I would really like to be able to read more than 12, I'll be honest. But 12 is like a nice little conservative target for me. It's one non-fiction book a month, so I have no issues at all reading fiction. I can read it for a very long time. But non-fiction I find harder. I think because I have to give more of my attention to it. Not attention, but I have to actually think about what it's saying rather than letting my imagination do the thinking, if that makes sense. So yeah, I want to record those non-fiction books that I managed to read this year in that little list there, so that I can see my progress. So the next couple of pages that I'm setting up are podcasts. I didn't originally think I was going to do this one, but I've been listening to so many podcasts over the past about 6 months. I've really started listening to more and more podcasts about different things. I'm really enjoying them. A personal favourite at the moment is Brené Brown's Unlocking Us and Dare to Lead. They're both brilliant. I highly recommend, I can't remember if it's on Unlocking Us or Dare to Lead, but Brené interviewed Joe Biden, and it was really nice to, obviously, because it's not a new episode, it's an older episode, so it was before he was announced that he was running for president, but he wasn't, he hadn't won yet. It was earlier on in the process, and it was just really nice to hear about, his motivations and just to understand him a little bit better. I suppose maybe in the US you know a bit more about him because obviously he's been in politics for so long, but over here we don't. I think really we just know him as Obama's former vice president. So yeah, it was a really good episode to listen to, so I highly recommend it. And then on the right hand side, I'm just doing a want to read list. So this is books that I have seen somewhere, usually when I'm browsing the Kobo, that's the e-reader I use, store, and that I want to get, but that I can't justify spending the money on right now. So I'm just writing them down so that in future I can think, oh yeah, I could get that. And then the next page, this is recommendations. So this is different to the want to read list. On here I put any recommendations for anything. It could be television shows, podcasts, books, music, anything, and who gave me that recommendation. This is different to the previous page when it comes to books. because this is things that people have actually recommended to me, or I've seen recommended on a YouTube video or so on, whereas the want to read is just books that I've come across myself and want to read, not that they've actually been recommended to me. And I'm thinking actually I could probably do with doing a want to watch and a want to, maybe that would be an idea. So on the right hand side there, I'm just doing my January work hours. This is one of the ones that I'm going to do every month, and I just basically write down the hours that I work during that working day and then tot up whether I've done any extra time or if I owe any time at the end of the week, just so that I can keep a running check on that. And I imagine I'm just going to do one of those every month. I was that one and a couple of other ones which are coming up on the next page, I was going to do like a yearly tracker for, but actually I just feel like I only really need the monthly data. I don't know that I need a full year's worth of data. So these next two pages, which are I believe the last ones, are January workout and January calories. And they are pretty much what it says on the tin. So for workout, I just write down whichever workout I've done that day. I've got 1 to 31 written down the side. I don't do it in the video, but that's what's in front of me right now. And I just have written down, 30 minutes yoga, 20 minutes cycling, and so on. And then on the right hand side, I've got January calories, and this isn't my total calories burnt. This is the calories on my Apple Watch. So the move ring on an Apple Watch is like your active calories, so it's what you've done over and above what you normally would do. So I'm just totting up how many it is each day and writing it down. So there are a couple of collections. Just very quickly, I'll mention that I have put in since I filmed this video. I actually went into my Kobo and did a non-fiction TBR. So all of the non-fiction books that I've got on my Kobo, I went and wrote them all down over the next 2 pages. I've got a collection that I've done for passive income streams, because I've been doing some research on that, and some YouTube video ideas, just to have a place to be able to put them down when I think of them. And then other random bits of information that I have put on these pages in that left hand side column have been my favourite Peloton instructors. I was listening to the Miracle Morning and I made some notes there. So that is my 2021 Hobonichi Cousin all set up for the year. I'm excited to get using it really, and just be able to dive straight in. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. I'm aiming to post, as you'll have seen from my 21 in 2021, 2 videos to YouTube a month. So please do come back if planner and life content, art content is your kind of thing. I will see you soon. Bye.